Always make sure whenever you take the halter off of your horse, you tie it up on the fence. That way another horse or cow or anything cannot get their foot in there and get hung up and get hurt.
Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Bayou Farm Life. So yesterday evening, we was able to get in the practice pen and get ready for a few upcoming jackpots. All in all, it was a great evening in the practice pen. We're gonna go over a few team roping runs, show y'all the good, the bad, the ugly, as always. My horses worked extremely well. A few times when I was heeling, my horse seemed to be out of position a little bit, but some of the cattle was kind of tough to get in position behind, to say the least. I only ended up running one pen of steers on my head horse and on my heel horse because all in all they really did work well, and I didn't want to just push them for no reason. It was hot, they're a little bit out of shape, so I just wanted to run one pen each. We have a roping coming up, like I said, and I just wanted to make a few runs before that jackpot. Now let's dive right into it. So as you can see on my first run, my header just had a little bit of tough luck and just missed the right horn. And like I've told y'all before, this is why we're in the practice pen. You're not always gonna rope good, you're not always gonna catch, but you have to practice and you gotta try to get better. So that's why we're in the practice pen. And again on steer number 2, just a little tough luck from the header. So then on our third steer, my header got out, he roped him around the neck, and the steer kind of took a bad handle, kind of switched real hard in the corner. My horse kind of was a little bit past him. I let him come back across, and instead of taking a more high percentage shot, I took really a low percentage shot. It worked. I usually don't like to make shots like that in the practice pen because you want to do things correct in the practice pen. Now in a roping, whenever you need to be fast or something like that, yeah, you might want to every now and then take a low percentage shot like that. But me personally, if I'm in the practice pen, I would rather take a more correct shot than that, but it did work out for us. Now, and on our fourth steer, the steer kind of took a heavy handle, so whenever he switched that steer, she kind of got real heavy in the corner. She didn't really just want to move around. So my horse kind of bumped into her a little bit. I tried to rope her whenever she was separating from me. I roped her in time, but as I threw in time, she took one big jump and jumped over my rope. I had my GoPro on my head, and I kind of threw when I realized that I missed her. I kind of looked up, which is why the cow goes out of the frame of the video, but she jumped right over my loop is what happened. Now on my last cow to heel, this is the most hard running cow that we have. It is the most pretty cow we have. She is a beautiful little thing. She's got a lot of color. Like I said, she's the most hard running cow we have. And there's not been a whole lot of times that we've called her. So I knew whenever the guy that was heading for me, I knew whenever he called her that I could not miss, that she needed to be caught. and needed to be slowed down a little bit. So as you can see, he got out, he got a rope on her. She switched kind of hard. I was able to get in pretty decent position for where I like, and I seen her fixing to leave me and to get my separation. I threw a big trap down there in front of her feet. She got in it, and I was able to get a good dally. And that's really about the kind of runs that I like to have. Maybe a little more forward movement on a handle instead of such a stall. But as far as position and separation, that's the kind of position and separation that I like. Now I swapped over to the good old head side. And my very first run on the head side was that fast cow that I was telling y'all about. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn my camera on for that run. I was able to capture her. The guy heeling for me was able to capture her. It was a good smooth run. So then we move into our second run. As you can see, this heifer started to go out of the chute, and I thought she was gonna go on, but her horn got hung up, so she kind of stalled. I just lifted my horse up. I let her get moving down the pen. I rode to position, threw my rope, and somehow the rope just kind of hung on the left horn. It didn't really cover the left horn good. So it twirled around there and just popped off. Nobody's perfect, I guess. Okay, so our next cow, we've got some things to talk about on this one. So as you can see, I back in the box. Well, I never nodded my head. The chute somehow come open, and I was like, I just gotta go with it. So the reason I threw as fast as I did and threw as much line as I did on this cow is because this is the thumbnail picture cow. I had somebody down there set up to take this thumbnail picture, and I needed to throw before them, so I had to take my shot where I took it. And in all honesty, my rope was perfect. It was headed there. It was headed to capture this cow. And I started pulling on it, and I snapped it shut before it ever got to the cow. So it was 100% my fault, and it was also 100% the gate man's fault. So this next cow, I was able to get out pretty good. I rode up to a pretty good position and didn't cover the horns. I just threw beside them, almost just kind of like this instead of over to grab them. So like I said, nobody is perfect, sadly.
I'm about to lose my phone.
So our last and final cow. One of my nephews was there, and he wanted to try to heel this cow. This bull is really, really slow. He trots, he does not get in a hurry. It's good for kids to learn on. So I was gonna go out there and heel it for him. Well, when the gates banged and the cow started to move, his horse run past it and just kind of took off. So I just used that opportunity to take my head horse and just go out there and just work on her, rating, throwing a big sharp loop on the cow. Well, another guy come up to heel behind me after I roped it. So in the process of me turning the cow and going across the pen, the rope got underneath my pocket and it started pushing my phone out of my pocket. So I let go of the reins. It was a whole mess. I let go of the reins. I grabbed my phone in the middle of the run, still had my dally and everything. It was a good time. He was able to almost get it caught. Not quite. The cow somehow kicked out of it, but it was a good time. So for the rest of the day, I just worked the chute, give advice where I could, tried to help whoever I could out. I'm not no pro by no means, but if somebody wants what little bit of advice that I may have, I would be more than welcome to give them to them. Again, not a pro, I'm not good at this. I can just barely hold my own. So that pretty much sums it up for the evening in the practice pen. Like I said, I only run one pen on my heel horse and one pen on my head horse, just because they worked good and I wasn't gonna push them in this heat. So before I go, with new opportunities arising in my life, there's a very big chance that I'm gonna have to slow down to one video per week. It's either gonna be a Saturday or a Sunday. Work has just been crazy and it's fixing to be ramping up. As many of you know, I do this alone, so it's hard to video enough footage to have for 2 videos per week. so I may have to slow it down to just 1 video per week. That's not a for sure thing, so y'all stay tuned and watch for 2, but it's most likely going to dull down to 1 for a little while. 3 to 4 weeks is what I'm hearing, so after that I should be able to ramp it back up to 2. We'll just see how it plays out. Thank y'all so much for y'all's patience. Thank y'all for watching. Really hope y'all have a great week, and I hope to see y'all Saturday.